Another mass shooting in San Diego, California. My heart is still racing. I was so petrified upon finding out at about 11:40 this morning there were 3 people killed at their house of prayer. This happened today, this morning, at the Islamic Center in San Diego. The terrorists are 2 teenagers, ages 17 and 19, as far as the reports that I have been made aware of. This is terrible. This is horrific. This is unacceptable. This is very up close and personal to me. I survived the mass shooting at our house of prayer. On April 27, 2019, a 19-year-old white supremacist breached our synagogue on the last day of Passover with an AR-15, shot and killed Lori Lynn Gilbert Kay right in front of my eyes as I was talking with her. He then lifted up his rifle to shoot me, to assassinate me. I had children playing behind me. I ran towards the children to bring them to safety when he got off 4 rounds shooting at me to kill me. These 2 fingers were shot off, but I survived. I was able to bring the children to safety. When I came back to the line of fire, I learned some brave men of the congregation chased the shooter out. He fled and then eventually surrendered, calling 911, so proud of himself that he just shot up a synagogue, and he believed he killed not only Lori but me as well. He surrendered and is in custody till today. What happened this morning, just a few miles away from us, is another sad day in American history. I am so sorry for the 3 victims that were lost at the Islamic Center of San Diego. I am so sorry for the pain and suffering that all those children that were studying there had to endure, the trauma that they had to endure fleeing for their lives. The situation is still fluid, but to me, the situation is very alive. It brings back, just like it was the other day for me, when I stood facing a shooter in the house of prayer. This is not America. This is not the American way. This is not what we need to get used to as the new norm. It has no place in America. Every human being, regardless of what religion you are, you were created in the image of God, and you deserve to stay alive. Whether it's the Islamic Center, or whether it's our synagogue, rgpoway, whether we're Jewish and they're Muslim, we are all created in God's image. No one deserves to be killed, murdered, slaughtered, only because you are part of your religion. Our hearts and soul goes out to the whole Islamic community in San Diego, specifically those at the Islamic Center. There are not too many people that can say, I know exactly what you have just been through, because I know exactly what you have been through. I am still suffering today, even though it's been 7 years. The physical pain, the emotional pain, the anguish, the spiritual quagmire trying to figure out. That pain doesn't go away, and I can relate. But my message to you, to my fellow citizens of the United States of America, whether you're Jewish, Christian, or Muslim, you are not alone. We are all in this together, and we have to fight this type of hate together. And we need to wake up and realize that there are consequences for our actions. There are consequences for our rhetoric. There's been enough hate going around in the world and eventually found its way to America. For decades, this type of tyranny and death and terrorism was only limited to Middle East and Europe. But now it's reached the shores of America. The shooting that I survived from at rgpoway in April 27, 2019 was the second synagogue in all United States history to have been a victim to a mass shooting. A house of prayer should be a house of peace. It has no place to be attacked by anyone. What happened today is a sad day, but it's also a day for us of reckoning. Let's ask ourselves the question: is the rhetoric that we allow on the streets of America, on the social media platforms, what the young, these are two teenagers, 17 and 19, they had a whole life ahead of us. We still don't know who they are. We still don't know their identities or what the motives were. It's irrelevant. They committed the worst crime against humanity and against themselves. They are no longer alive. But we need to ask ourselves a question. What generation are we breeding? Are we bringing up a new generation here in America of killers, of shooters, of terrorists? The shooter that breached our synagogue on April 27, 2019 is a 19-year-old American-born, a white supremacist anti-Semite, grew up just a couple miles away from me. He was a nurse in nursing school. He was a talented pianist. He wasn't some mentally deranged. He knew exactly what he was doing. He wrote a manifesto before he did it. But we need to ask ourselves a question. Where have we gone wrong? Why do we have another generation of teenagers who are becoming mass shooters? Perhaps we need to realize how we must unequivocally dial down the hatred that's coming out of our mouths and our fingers on social media. Whether it's anti-Semitism, whether it's anti-Islam or anti-Christian, this word anti needs to end. This is the price we're paying for it. When we are divided, divisive, with baseless hatred, and this is coming from these platforms, influencers, who are so motivated to get as many clicks as possible to captivate the next generation with conspiracies, with lies, with myths. Anti-Semitism has risen to its highest level since the 1930s because of the words that our teenagers are subjected to and are being fed, whether it's in high school, elementary school, or on the social media, or in the dark web, or in college campuses. There are consequences for our words. Perhaps today can be a day of an awakening, that we need to realize something has to change. This is not America. This is not the norm. We cannot get used to it, get complacent and apathetic to it. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Jewish community, on behalf of myself as a victim of a mass shooting, my heart goes out to the Islamic community. I offer you condolences for the loss of the 3 members of your community. My condolences for the trauma that you're going through. But just like myself, surviving a mass shooting does not paralyze you for the rest of your life. On the contrary, why do bad things happen to good people? We don't know. But one thing we do know, that we don't allow the darkness of the moment to become a dark cloud for the rest of our life. In my situation, when I survived the mass shooting, after witnessing Lori Kay, one of my best friends, to have been slaughtered in broad daylight right in front of me, it could have paralyzed me. But it did not. I did not allow the darkness of the day, of the moment of the event, to change my life for the worse. But it propelled me to become a different person. I'm a total different person than I was before the shooting than I am now after the shooting. I have learned that a little bit of light pushes away a lot of darkness. Surviving a mass shooting is a gift from God, giving us a bonus round to be able to make this world a better place. For us to realize and recognize we're all created in God's image. No matter what religion we are all one, and we need to be able to treat each other as one. The Bible tells us, love your fellow as yourself, as an extension of yourself, regardless of race, color, or religion. Life is not cheap. Life is given to us by God. The day you and I were born, God said the world can no longer exist without you. You have a purpose in life. Your purpose is to make people alive. Your purpose is to sustain life, to promote life, to be part of the living, to be God's ambassador, to do good in this world. And God forbid not to go on the dark side and become a terrorist and a mass shooter. Children need to be brought up that there is a God in the world. After the shooting that I survived, I brought to light again a campaign that my Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, the head of the Chabad movement, after Ronald Reagan was assassinated and survived, the Rabbi spoke about the idea of introducing a moment of silence. That every public school should start the day with a moment of silence. We know prayer is no longer in the public school, but a moment of silence is what we can do. What that moment of silence does is it gives children a moment to contemplate of who they are, why they are, what's my mission on this world. And specifically when they ask you what the moment of silence is about, you say it is so I should think about God in heaven. So a child would know that there is a God, there is a creator of the world, is omnipotent, omnipresent, who knows everything that you say, is looking over your shoulder, who has your back, who's going to be giving you whatever you need to protect you through your journey in life. When a child knows that at a very young age, they will begin valuing life and realizing that every human being has a value, regardless of race, color, or religion. When we have a moment of silence in our public school system and in our private school system, you may be preventing the next mass shooting. As human beings, we are responsible for each other. We are dependent on each other. We need to embrace people. We need to look at people as a person. We need to connect with them. We need to embrace them. We need to not be judgmental, not to gossip about them. You do yours to try to lift up another person's spirits. We don't know what's going on in another person's mind, but a smile, an embrace, acknowledgement, empathy, sympathy, you may be preventing the next mass shooter. As today is going to go down in history as another sad day in San Diego, another sad day for the San Diego community. Let's not leave it with sadness. Let's do what I did after the shooting. I propelled myself to become a better person. I propelled myself to do more for the community, to become an activist more than I was before. I started this YouTube channel in light of the darkness that occurred. And that is the name of the channel, A Little Bit of Light. So that you should know a little bit of light will push away a lot of darkness. My condolences to the Islamic community in San Diego and to all those that were affected by this. My condolences to the families who are suffering from the loss of the two teenagers who chose to end the life of others and themselves, who felt that life is not worth living. Let's give our teenagers an embrace, engage with them, be synchronized with them, know who they are, know what's going on in their life. Get the help that they need so that this doesn't happen again. God bless you. God loves you.